my name's Melissa and I work for Missouri State Parks. Today, we're going to talk about Missouri Fear Factor. We're going to talk about the grossest, the ooeyest, the gooeyest animals that call Missouri home. Contestant number 1. Contestant number 1 can be 8 times the length of its home. 8 times! It prefers inside meals and makes a grand exit. Do you have any idea? I'll give you a few more hints. It's an internal parasite. Any guesses? It's a horsehair worm. The horsehair worm is an internal parasite for many insects. What it does is it takes over an insect's mind. It'll climb in, hook into its nervous system, and control it, telling it when it's hungry, when it wants to sleep, and when it needs a drink. Ultimately, the insect will jump into a pool of water and drown. The worm will then make its grand exit out to start laying eggs. Now, this is harmless to humans, and its importance is to help keep insects' population in check. If you're a person that's 5 feet tall, this is how long the horsehair worm would be inside you. Luckily, like I said, these parasites only affect insects. This is 80 feet in length. Contestant number 2. Contestant number 2 loves waste, makes its home in the smelliest of places, and its duty is to lay eggs in duty. Any guesses? That's right. It's the dung beetle. Some dung beetle species actually live in the dung. Others just roll it, bury the ball, and lay their eggs in it. But all dung beetles are amazing parents. They care for their young until they're born. The dung beetle is important because it removes fecal waste by recycling dung into basic nutrients for the environment. This is the actual size of a dung beetle. Now I have it under the microscope here so you can see it more in detail. Contestant number 3. Contestant number 3 can eat 10 times its own body weight. That's a lot of cheeseburgers. It's a superstar of the medieval times, and its nickname is Dracula. Any guesses? I'll give you a few more hints. It's related to the earthworm and lives in warm water. That's right, it's the leech. Leeches are related to the earthworm. They usually enjoy warm, calm waters with a lot of vegetation. They secrete enzymes to prevent blood from clotting. But no transmittable borne diseases are transferred through the leech. Now, the benefit of leeches is it's an amazing food source for aquatic organisms, and it's still used in modern medicine today. In the past, when you would get a fever, practitioners thought that if you put leeches on your body, it would get rid of it. What that ultimately did was it just lowered your blood pressure. How the medical field uses it today is if you were to have a finger or a toe cut off, they would sew that appendage back on and put a leech on the very end. That leech will start pulling the blood back into those blood vessels and will reattach your finger. So thankfully, the leeches are still around today. Contestant number 4. Contestant number 4 is never first in and is an underachiever. It helps keep the streets clean, and its nickname is the Grave Digger. Any guesses? Here's another hint. It's a type of insect. It's the carrion beetle. The carrion beetle feeds on dead organisms. When it's found a meal, it'll secrete this foul-smelling odor, marking its territory so no other insects will invade. It, along with maggots, will start to eat the carcass. They'll bury it and live in and around it. The good thing about the carrion beetle is it helps remove decaying organisms by recycling them into the environment and helps prevent disease outbreaks. This is the actual size of a carrion beetle. Contestant number 5. Contestant number 5 is my favorite. It's not afraid to wait for a meal. It can throw up to 10 feet. And it's the inventor of its own self-cooling system. Any guesses? It's a type of bird. It's the turkey vulture. The turkey vulture is the most disgusting but beautiful creature I think there is in Missouri. It waits for its meals to get soft, nice and warm for the sun. At that point, it sticks its bald little head into the carcass. Its stomach acids are so strong that it can kill botulism, anthrax, cholera, and salmonella. Now remember when I said it can throw up to 10 feet? That's not a baseball. This bird can projectile vomit as a self-defense for up to 10 feet. Now what about that self-cooling system? That's right, these birds get even more disgusting. To cool down, the turkey vulture will defecate all over its feet. You know, it just does number 1 and number 2. This allows cool air to go over top of their skin and cool them down. This also might be an antiseptic wash. The purpose of the turkey vulture is to remove carrion from the environment and to help prevent the spread of disease. Contestant number 6, our final contestant. Contestant number 6 is in the oil secretion business. It prefers black tie events and is up for a tail-raising good time. Any guesses? That's right, it's the skunk. The skunk has an oily spray that's secreted from the glands under their tail. They only spray when they're frightened. It can spray up as far as 10 feet, and the scent will linger for days and is difficult to remove. So what good is this smelly creature? I think you'll be surprised to know. It helps control the insect population. 70% of its diet is yellow jackets. It feeds on their nests. The skunk actually gives a warning before it will spray. It'll first stomp its feet. It'll then wave its tail as a warning. And finally, it'll spray. I hope you've enjoyed our series of Fear Factor, Missouri's most gross, disgusting animals that call this state home.